I'm Kill, I'm the Sheikah, and I play Zelda randomizers. This is the Link's Awakening DX rando I played not too long ago. Let's dig in! To start off throughout this playthrough, you're going to see me whiz by a bunch of trade sequence items and shells, but this ocarina is a little too important, so I had to show you that much. We also got the Peggy Food off of Marin, which was really nice of her. Bombs? Not bombs. Zol attack. Oh no! We play games! We play all the mini games and get all the shells and trade sequence items, because we don't know which little items or things we're going to need later. So get it all, like Pokemon. Collect everything. Pineapple. Frog's Song of Soul is important for getting into Turtle Rock if you're like me and you don't know how to glitch your way in there. Banana. Seashell. Push. Why don't we push it over there for another Zol in the Zol Cave? No! This sword was a huge tease, so I was trying so hard to use my Pegasus boots to bounce off the tree so I could land over there because you can do that a lot. Hey, look, Ballad of the Windfish. And we look at the sword a little bit more, but we kind of died trying to get it, so we tried again. And halfway through this try, we decided to move on and try and get through Color Dungeon, but then we died. So we try again to get into Color Dungeon, knowing that we won't be able to do much there because we don't have any real weapons that are going to be helpful and we won't just run out of resources. But hey, there's another sword in the grass, so I guess we'll use that weapon to get around everywhere, including the desert. Fighting monsters in the sinking sand. You just gotta fight the monster before you sink in the sand, and before the item sinks in the sand. You sink in the sand last. Anyway, grab the flippers, run through the desert, get a shell, fight this Armos Knight dude bro right here and die. And then fight him and die. So we decide to come back later because we only have 4 hearts and not a good weapon and no jumpy jumps and no fasty fast and no power. But we do have a hook shot now, so that's cool, I guess. We use the hook shot to grab the second sword that we saw first, sword number 2. Heck yes, we leveled up. Getting our shells, getting our trade sequence items, and most of them are useless. Well, not yet. We don't know that for sure. I defeat the guy who's afraid that I was sent by Madam Meow Meow, get a shell, we learn a shell, we run around, we get some money, we play some games, we talk to the Mad Batter, and we go back to Color Dungeon, but we don't really find anything there, so we have to just keep moving on. Key Cavern, we found a letter, another trade sequence item, this is the Go Fast dungeon, you just gotta go fast. We didn't find anything significant in there, but I did leave the Mambo's Mambo over on the bridge next to Kiki, but hey, face key at 10 shells, so that's neat, I guess. Fire rod surrounded by water, how appropriate. It's actually just called the magic rod in this game, though. Hey, look, more shell. More shell, more fight. I come back for revenge. All to get the eagle key, the bird key, whatever the key is. Eagle's Tower. So we're going through dungeons. We are starting to have more and more of our stuff. We're starting to run through the mountains. Turtle Rock is a good place to go with all the items that I have. Both shields. I found Rock's Feather there. I had been looking for Rock's Feather for an hour and a half up until this point, and that was going to get me through, I think, a good 3 or more dungeons at that point. But yeah, it helps us finish Turtle Rock, so we go ahead and finish that, and I hate this fight. It is so mean. This guy will literally hit you back to the beginning of the dungeon and you'll have to start the fight all over. And I don't know the trick to jump over the wall. So we fight the boss of the dungeon, fight fire with fire. Is it a metaphor? IDK. This was the 90s when this game came out. Anyway, parumpa pum pum, we got a drum. Run through, give the letter to the dude, we get a bow, which had the last item in Turtle Rock that I couldn't get to. However, we didn't need it. We found a Yoshi doll in, what's this place? Bottom Grotto. We fight the genie. There's this good little trick where if you get up in the corner in the right spot, you only have to throw his bottle once. And level 2 sword, you only need 2 spin attacks to beat the genie, so that's a pretty quick boss otherwise. Running around, going to the castle. I had a hint that the castle had my boomerang right here, so hey, boomerang, awesome weapon, my favorite in this game. Shell, hibiscus, Eagle's Tower. There is a little trick you can use with bombs to not have to walk the giant wrecking ball all the way around, but you do want to defeat this guy and pick up the item so you don't have to defeat him again. And then you also need to fight the cards at one point, the card enemies, which I hate those enemies. This guy can be fought either with a sword and Rock's Feather or the magic rod. The magic rod is so much easier. It's so hard in the vanilla game though. Anyway, we got a keyboard, organ, doot. We give the broom, we get a shell. We see a shell, we get a shell. We run through necklace. We're checking everywhere inside Caphish's Maw since the hookshot is going to allow us to get through most of it. Hey, Blue Nick, that's nice. Fighting the Stalfos, running around, fighting this boss right here. You need the sword and the hookshot out when you're fighting them. Just run in circles. Don't try and get them every time. It's not worth it. Most of the time it's out of reach. Wait till it is in reach. Hit it with your sword after you hook it out of its hole and attack, and you get an angler key. Hey. And that's instrument number 4 in our collection. Returning inside so we could fight the final Stalfos. For some reason, the sword beams weren't getting this guy down, so I just went ahead and added bombs at the end of this fight. Right there. There. Pause. Hit, hit, hit. And suddenly it worked. But we didn't really need to go back and do that. Finding our shells, finding our single item checks, especially those trade sequence items, trying to route everything we can along our way back to Key Cavern. Hey, Honeycomb, another trade sequence item, fight everything, and we get a blue chicken, Koshiro, blue Kuko. Level 2 sword makes that a very quick fight. After you split the eye into 2, it just is 1 spin attack each, and you are good to go. Listen to a terrible concert, go through Dungeon 1, Tail Cave. I hate these card boys, they're such a pain in my butt. But eventually we get them all for a red tunic. This guy, like the second half of him, does not have collision with you, so just jump over its head, hit him in the tail. That is the strategy. I figured it out after a lot of frustrating practice. Going through anglers, grabbing all the things, we find our go mode strength 2 right there, right in the water. So we basically boss rush the rest of the dungeons. All we gotta do is find our nightmare key, find enough small keys, and we just go through. Here's our harp. That is dungeon number 7 out of the 8. And then we go back in here to our face dungeon where we fight face. I was waiting for that strength 2. I was waiting for that for so long. Face dungeon isn't so bad if you get your nightmare key right away. And I just immediately start bombing because his face will appear and you can even get some damage in before he starts speaking to you. And then I just kind of throw my boomerang at the tiles so that way I don't get hit, but then the floor might fall in. So anyway, we pick up the triangle. We are in the last stretch of the game. So we come up to the egg, sing it a song, and everything is beautiful and rainbow. Ballad of the Windfish. So here we go through, we go up, left, left, up, right, right, up, left, up. And we fight Nightmare in its 6 phases. We start with magic powder, and anytime we stand in a spot it comes at us, we hit it with powder 6 times, then we get our sword out and we play Aghanim Bite, slashing the ball of power back to the villain itself. And once we were done with this phase, I got a raid in the middle of that. We repeat the level 1 boss fight, but this time we don't have to worry about falling off. This is spin attacks only. Have your feather on and jump around this dude after you hit the other one with the boomerang and hit him in the eye with the boomerang. The boomerang is legit, and that's the end of the game. That's a rando wrap of Link's Awakening DX. I'm Kill, I'm the Sheikah. Find me on Twitch!